everybody, and welcome back to Knitting with Betty. It's going to be just a quick roundup of my year, this episode. I hope I won't go on for too long because I haven't charged my iPad, so it could switch off at any minute. But yeah, I thought it would be nice just to sort of recap on my year of knitting and what I've achieved, and perhaps some of the projects that I haven't finished, and well, hopefully get it done next time. But some of these knits I didn't do completely in one year, so some of them were just finishing off projects from last year or weaving in ends, that sort of thing. So it seems like I've knitted a lot, but it won't have been all of them from scratch. There are only a sort of handful from scratch, I think. A lot of them I can't remember, so you'll have to bear with me. But I went through all of my videos, and I think I started last January. And I tried to write down in order the knits that I've been doing over this year, but they might be slightly out of order, so don't hold me to it. I might be wrong. But so the first knit that I completed this year, or finished, did finishing off bits, was this beautiful coat using Bendigo Woolen Mill. I think it's 10 ply. Was it 10 ply or was it 8 ply? It's one of those. But I hadn't bought enough, and I took a punt and bought some more of the same colour, hoping that it would match, even though it was a different dye lot. And luckily it did match. So this is the first knit. So I'll put all the pattern details in the description box, so that if you do like any of these patterns, you'll know where to get them. This was an online pattern that I bought years and years ago from Etsy, I think, and I just loved the sort of 50s style of it, the dolmain sleeves and the turn-up cuffs, and this sort of facing detail, whereas these are sort of pockets, although I think things would fall out of this, but just really loved the sort of little short swing coat effect of it. So that was the first knit that I showed you. Then going on to the second knit. So this was, or is, the Chevron jumper that was inspired by the Jam Busters. No, the Jam Busters was the book. The TV series, what was it? Let me see if I put it in my notebook. Actually, I might have written it down. I don't know. So I will look up what the heck that TV series was called. But I took the colours from that TV series. I think this one might have actually been a beige in the TV series, but I liked the contrast of the pink and the what's it called, burgundy. So I went for these colours. And if you want to knit this pattern, so the original kind of comes out a crazy size. So the lace section, let me show you, the lace section was absolutely fine, but then when you switch to the seed stitch, it created a massive panel at the top, so I had to take it in by this much, which is a good 2.5 inches, I'd say, to make it fit around the shoulders and the underarm. So if you do want to knit this pattern, don't knit it from the original vintage pattern, because it will come out a weird size. Luckily, since I knitted this, Susan Crawford, in her latest colour workbook, re-engineered this pattern so that it fits properly. So if you want one that fits you properly, use her pattern, which is in her new book, Stitch in Time, Volume 3. So that was the second knit I showed you. And then from the same TV show, I was inspired by one of the characters that wore a pair of socks with some flat shoes. So this is my first unfinished project of the year. So I think I started these in February. Still haven't finished the second sock. It's that second sock syndrome, isn't it? So I've still got to do the afterthought heel and finish that cuff, but that shouldn't really take too long. It's just finding the time to do it. So that was the second and third. Then I completed this one. I might have cast on Christmas Eve last year. So finished this year, which was fantastic. And my first sort of, I think the other ones I'd started the year before, apart from the socks, which I haven't finished. But this was the first completed fully in 2024, and I have worn and worn and worn this cardigan. It is so useful. It's like just the right layer, because it's got lacy sleeves. It keeps me cool, but this bit keeps me warm. So it's the perfect like spring and, well, UK summer cardigan. And you can see that I've worn it a lot because it's starting to bubble, because it is a soft fibre. I don't know if you can see that. Whoop. This one's a bit more bubbly. There we go. You can see the bubbles where I've been wearing it so much. So I will give this a little shave before putting it away for the winter. Actually, I've been wearing this winter as well, so such a useful little cardigan. And that was a Squids School of Knitting pattern. So you have to, I think she sells her patterns individually on Ravelry, but otherwise if you sign up to her Patreon, you get like the back catalogue of all of her patterns. So if you want to knit that one. Then I did a test knit, so I had to finish this one. I did the John Arbon test knit for their annual, which came out this autumn. So this, if you want to knit this one, it's already out. And it was a little colourwork beret. Now, it's a bit of a funny shaped beret, if I'm honest. It's like more of a, what are they called, tams or something. They're quite like, they're deep berets. They're not exactly like the flat sort of Parisian type berets that you associate with France. So it is a little bit of an odd shape, but it's beautiful. And actually I could have done with this on my dog walk a few days ago because it was quite chilly. But it was in my bedroom, so I forgot to take it with me. So I'm going to put it by the back door with my winter walking coat so that I can wear it out on a walk finally. Because it is due to get a bit colder in the UK in the next week, so that'll be nice and keep my head nice and warm. Then this is probably one of my favourite knits. Actually, I've got lots of favourites, that's a lie. This is the Rosee t-shirt, I think they call it, from Lise Tailor, who is a French designer, and she creates yarns as well as sewing patterns and fabric for like dresses and all sorts. But this is such a useful little t-shirt, and I love it because it's got that sparkle through it. And this yarn was from a local shop to me called the Lace Knittery, and they do some beautiful hand-dyed yarns. And I just love this pattern because it fits like a glove, and the little embroidery on it was really fun to do, and it's a really cute little detail. I'll show you the back. So, and this has been the most successful top-down knit that I've done because it actually fits me. I had a few problems with my one of the later knits that I'll show you with the fit at the underarm, but this, because it's like a tight tee, it like stretches, so it can afford to be like a little bit too tight, if that makes sense. So it just stretches to fit, and it's perfect. So what I might do is, as I've had problems with the other ones that I've done are double knit, so I'm just not used to working with double knit, or I haven't got used to it yet. So what I might do is I might knit this but using double knit and see if it makes much difference to the fit. But yeah, it's a really beautiful little t-shirt if you want to knit that one. Then I went through my Halloween phase. So the first Halloweeny project I did was this lovely shawl, the Dead Souls? Lost Souls, I think it's called. Let's have a look at my list. Yeah, Lost Souls shawl. It's a mouthful. And you can't really see it from a distance, but close up you can see the little spooky faces. And this was using a hand-dyed yarn from a lady who lives in Kent called Skein Hawk Yarns, and she hand dyes beautiful yarns. So this one was based on the character Elvira from, what was the film called? It was Blithe Spirit, I think. Sort of that ethereal kind of ghosty kind of colours, which are really beautiful. And that one I have not finished. I have not woven in my ends for this one, so that'll be on my to-do list. This next year, we're still in 2024 at the moment. I haven't quite tipped over into the new year. Then I took a little bit of a detour and did a winter jumper, because I thought this one would take me a little bit longer than it actually did. I thought I'm going to get nice and started early on my winter knits, so that I have something really nice and warm to wear. And this has been such a handy little knit. Again, another one of my favourites. Oops. So this is the problem with the neckline. I do need to sew down the cuff collar even, because it does tend to flip up. I don't know, I knitted it to the pattern, so maybe I should have done like a couple more rows and it would have folded over a little bit more easily. But this is I think I call it a skater jumper, and it's such a cute little design, and it's so useful to pop on if it's a bit chilly around the house, and it's so nice and warm and comfy, and because it's in like an Aran, like it's really nice and stretchy and fits, you know, most. One size fits most, but no, it was I think the pattern was in just one size, so you will need to size it up if you are bigger, or size it down if you're smaller. But yeah, this one I really love, and I loved the yarn as well. That was Hobbycraft yarn, so it was cheap and cheerful, and it didn't take very much yarn actually. I think I bought 3 balls of this, and I still have 2.5 balls left because it's so economical. So yeah, that's a really nice quick knit if you want something for the winter. Then another crochet project I did, I went to a class on how to make these shopping bags, which these are so useful because they don't look very big, but they stretch for days, and they're quite quick to make, and you can make them in lots of funky colours. So I made mine two-tone, because my teacher had made one two-tone and I thought it was really cool. And they're just so useful because they scrunch up really small, and I can fit this in my handbag. And I'm always forgetting shopping bags when I go to the supermarket, so it's nice to have one of these in your handbag, just to, if you're picking up a few bits and bobs. And actually I crocheted one from a vintage pattern that's even more capacious than this, but that one took really long time to make, but it's on my to mend pile because I snagged it on something, so that's how much I've used it. They are really useful. So again, I'll pop in the comments where I got that pattern from. Then my lovely Halloween sweater. So I bought this yarn from the Susan Crawford knitting retreat that I went to last April, I think it was, and it was so useful when I went up to Cumbria in September. It was genuinely a lot colder up north than down south, and so this was a really useful job to have. It kept me nice and warm. It's made from Susan Crawford yarn, so this one is Bayer, I think it was, which is more of a sort of, it's double knit, but it's more of a thicker double knit, if that makes sense. And so it was lovely and warm, and obviously with the colour work it makes it doubly as warm. Look at the sleeves, look at those, aren't they sweet? I love that little detail on the sleeves. And I've got plenty of yarn left over, so hopefully for next Halloween I'll have a matching dog jumper to go with it. But yes, I'm going back up to see Susan probably February, I think, or end of January, so I'll be taking that again to keep me nice and warm in the Cumbrian winter. Then I turned my attentions to Christmas knitting. So was it this one? Yes. So I had seen a pattern on, or not a pattern, a bag online for a baguette holder that was a crocheted baguette holder, and there was no pattern online. You could buy the like ready-made crocheted baguette holders, but you couldn't buy the pattern to make your own. So I sort of invented my own one. It's not perfect. This was my prototype. So I think at the ones that I made my friends for Christmas, I took out some of the stitches in the top so that it was a little narrower, because this is quite wide. But yes, so my friends all got baguette bags for Christmas that I crocheted them in their favourite colours. So that was my Christmas crocheting. Oh, I don't have my mum's jumper. That was another one that I've done this year, isn't it? Anyway, I also started and have nearly finished my Tyrolean cardigan. So I showed you this in the last episode. It's not finished yet, and I haven't added any more flowers, and that is because I gave my mum her Christmas jumper on Christmas Day, obviously, and the sleeves were about 20 centimetres too long for her, so I had to unravel 20 centimetres on each sleeve and redo the cuffs. And actually the body is quite long as well, so ideally I should take a little bit off the length of that. But the binding off, it's a Italian bind off, and it took me 3 hours to bind off the body of the jumper, so I just can't face doing that again, so she's going to have a long one. But that's why I haven't done the any more flowers on my Tyrolean jacket. It's really difficult to show. Let me put it on the hanger. I might show it off better. There we go. Isn't it delightful? I just love this green contrast to the pink around the cuffs and around the bottom as well. See if I can get it all in. There we go. Isn't it pretty? So I definitely recommend this, even though there were sizing issues and you only have one size in the pattern book. It's such a beautiful design that I can't tell you not to knit it because it's just too beautiful. It's very similar to this one. So this was another knit that I did this year, but there are issues with it. So I ran out of yarn, couldn't get this yarn anymore because I'd bought it like a year beforehand, before I started knitting with it. So the body could do with being a little bit longer, and the sleeves are a little bit short, and they're not as puffy as I'd like them to be because I ran out of yarn and I couldn't do as big a poof as I'd like to. But yeah, I swear there was a video of me showing this to you, but when I was going through all my videos I couldn't find it. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have seen it, because it's such a beautiful design. And I remember saying that I'd, like this one, it would be nice to embroider flowers in the lattice design, but I don't think I'll do that because that's taking ages. But yeah, it's a really beautiful design, this, and this was the Hayworth jumper from UK Alpaca. They designed with, I think, Jemima somebody or other was the designer of the pattern. So again, I'll pop all those details in the description box, so you can look at all the different patterns. And then the final thing that I didn't knit this year but I found was my first ever vintage jumper. I've got cables all around it, which was such a nice thing to find. This was back on the days when I used straight needles instead of knitting in the round, which is a lot quicker because you get to do the front and the back at the same time. But actually I don't think that would work with this one, because you knit the front and then you go over the shoulders and then you knit down the back, so, and then you seam it up. So it probably wouldn't work in the round anyway. But that is my very first vintage knit, and as you can see, it's like, I think I didn't even look at gauge or making it to fit me. I just sort of went with it and hoped it would fit. But I think it will actually. It's not too bad, is it? Let's pop this on, see if it will. So yeah, it's pretty, and it looks amazing with these pearls. So this these pearls were £30 that I bought from TK Maxx. They were in the sale and I just absolutely love them. I love pearls anyway. They're like my favourite gemstone. They're not precious stones, pearls. I think they're like semi-precious, but I think they're precious anyway. I just love them. And it was 30 quid, down from like 150 I think it was or something, and I was like, wow, I'm having that for 30 quid. And it came with earrings as well. 30 quid. Amazing. I just love pearls. So yeah, I thought I'd show you that. And it's like the perfect like vintage length. But technically you should be wearing pearls next to your skin, because they breathe. So you need to have them like next to your skin for the moisture content. And if you go to really, really posh jewellery stores, they'll have like a little glass of water in the pearl display, because they like to be kept moist, and you should keep your pearls moist. So yeah, I went to an exhibition in the V&A, God, it must have been about 10 years ago, on pearls, and it was just the most amazing exhibition that I've ever been to. I've got the book upstairs actually, because I loved it so much. But they had the most fabulous pearls on display, and they had is it Mikimoto pearls? They had like those for sale in the V&A shop, and my mum and I were just like staring at the cabinet like, oh, aren't they so beautiful? But they are very expensive, Mikimoto pearls, so not £30, shall we put it? More like 3,000. But yeah, I wish they'd do that exhibition again, because it was absolutely lovely. But yeah, I'll look up that book actually. It's upstairs somewhere. But anyway, oh no, I'd forgotten about this one. I also started, but didn't finish, the gingerbread crochet along. So I kind of gave up on this year. I'll get this finished for next Christmas though. But this is the Serdar crochet along, which was a gingerbread themed blanket, which I am yet to finish. And there's one of the jumper panels. So that was another project that I started in 2024. But yeah, so that was pretty much my year in a nutshell. I don't think, other than my mum's jumper, which I'm still waiting to do the very last berries. I've finished the sleeves now, they are done and dusted, but I need to finish doing the French knot berries, which sounds easy, but it was not, because I decided to use 2 strands to do the berries, and so it gets tangled really, really easily. And so like 2 days before Christmas, when I was furiously doing the berries, it was quite stressful, shall we say. But I hope you had a lovely Christmas, eating lots of food. I've definitely put weight on from all the chocolate and cheese that I've been eating. And what are you going to be knitting next year? So I don't have too many plans at the moment. I want to do a knitted dress at some point, which I'm going to be doing in the cream hobbycraft from my Arbon knit book that I mentioned. God, it must have been September, October time I mentioned, or was it August that I mentioned? It was a while ago that I mentioned it. Doing some sort of knit along. So, but doing it in Arbon weight is going to make it a lot quicker to do. And I also want to get my knitting machine back out again. I've been watching Petra Manos, who does vintage knitting, and she has been doing some machine knitting of vintage patterns. So I wanted to get my machine out again. I don't think I got it out at all this year actually. Did I? No, I think I did. I did, because part of the machine knit community group that I'm part of, they did like a series of talks on shawls, and this fantastic designer from America called Sarah Etchingham, I think she's called. She was really, really inspiring as a teacher, so I had a go at doing a shawl, but the machine jammed. I think the yarn I was using was not the best yarn to use on a machine, because it created static, and it was jamming the cartridge every time, so I think I gave up on that, because I was like, that is the thing about machine knitting. It can be quite frustrating unless you have the machine set up 100% in the right order. It can jam and cause you all sorts of problems or fall off the machine, which is the worst. So I want to try and get that out again and have a go. There are a few projects that I have in mind, but I'm not going to reveal them just yet because they might not get around to it, sort of thing. But yeah, it'd be lovely to hear what you're planning on doing next year. And what I would say is, if you've seen all of my knits and thought, wow, that's a lot of knits, I haven't done nearly as many as her, don't worry. Like, everyone's different, aren't they? Everyone knits at different speed. I went at it hard this year, and a lot of them I hadn't started this year. It was more of a finishing job. So that was one of my sort of New Year's resolutions last year, is to try and finish more knits. I do have more, like the Lost Souls shawl that I have to weave in the ends, and I've got another shawl that I did not this year but the year before that I have to weave the ends in, and the socks. I must finish the socks, and I have a pair of Christmas socks from last year that I didn't finish, but I need to finish as well. So maybe I'll put that with my Christmas bag of stuff and bring it out next September. Yeah, start in September and hopefully have it done by Christmas. Oh no, I missed one. I missed this one. I hadn't finished either. This was a summer top this was Massimil. There was another top I did. That must still be in my drawers. I did a blue summer top from silk yarn that's really nice and cool in the summer, but this is another cool summer top. I think this one's merino and silk, so it's slightly warmer with the merino in, but wool is that fantastic thing that it keeps you cool in the summer and keeps you warm in the winter. So this was a knit along. I didn't knit along with everyone. I got this far and then I was so frustrated by all these bobbles that I gave up on it. So this one, if I pick it up May, then I might have it by I don't know, maybe a bit earlier, maybe April, February, or March. March might be a reasonable compromise. If I pick it up in March and try and get this done so that I'll have it in time for summer, because obviously with global warming we're going to have a lot more hot weather in the UK, unbearably hot weather, so that would be nice. And this one's a lot looser than the other top I did, which came up a little bit tight, so I made sure I think I'm knitting this in a medium, so it's nice and loose. Like, I wanted it really loose and baggy rather than, you know, quite so form-fitting like a lot of vintage knits are. But this is a modern knit anyway. But isn't this a beautiful colour? It goes really nicely with this, actually. Yeah. But I noticed as I'd gone through all of my knits, I've done quite a few green knits. Like, I didn't think I was a green kind of a person, but actually there's another knit I want to do, like a moss green kind of sweater that I've seen on Tinterweb on Instagram. So I'm fast becoming a green person, but I just love this colour. It's so soft, this yarn as well. That was a Lise Tailor yarn. That was this one. Oh, it's blowing out because of my light. There we go. Lise Tailor merino silk in Vervienne. Not very good at French, I'm afraid, guys. But that's beautiful. I love that. Beautiful colours. So yeah, I didn't really think I was much of a green person, but turns out I am, it would seem. Because there's that one, this one's got green, and this one. So obviously I'm a pink person because of my Barbie era. But yeah, so that is my year. So let me know in the comments what you're going to be doing. If you have any New Year's resolutions knitting wise, mine is weaving in those ends. I do have another in January, a UFO class with my my knitting teacher, so I'm going to be taking the shawls to weave in the ends for those, to get them out of the way and start wearing them. But yeah, I will hopefully see you in 2025. Thanks for sticking with me in 2024, and I hope you have a good New Year's. I'm not doing anything, I'm just going to bed. I do that every year. It's not very exciting when you're my age, really. New Year's. And also January, I forgot to mention, it's my birthday in January, which usually it would be exciting because presents, but nobody really celebrates my birthday because January babies are always neglected because everyone's really poor in January and never wants to go out because of Christmas. And what was the other reason? Oh yeah, it's just a bit miserable, the weather, isn't it? So, but I'm going to be enjoying my birthday anyway. But yeah, so I will see you next time, where I will show you my mum's hopefully completed jumper with the berries done. I might have done a few more flowers on this one. What I might do is I might set myself a goal of doing like 2 or 3 a week and see if that gets me any further. It might take me all year at that rate, but maybe one a day, and it would take me, it would take all year, wouldn't it? Hopefully I'll get it finished. But there we go. Oh yeah, I am still working on my Susan Crawford knit along design as well, but I won't show you that in this one because this is a roundup post, but next time I will show you my progress on that. Hopefully I'll have done my ribbing by the end of by the time I film the next one, because I think I've got 2.25 inches of 3-inch 1-on-1 ribbing with 2.75 needles. Oh my god, taking ages. I absolutely hate ribbing. It's the worst part, and it's always the first bit that you do. But anyway, I will see you in January, and have a very good have a very happy new year, and I'll see you soon.